Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Vlog Files. Happy New Year for 2019. Well, we've got a lot to talk about on this Vlog Files. It's going to be a great one, very raw, a lot of questions answered, and we're going to look back at 2018 and see it actually had a lot of stress on myself, on my family, on my friends, and even on my fans. Well, welcome back to the Vlog Files. It's actually been some time since we've done a Vlog Files on its own anyway. There was one or two in the last Gamer Show, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Happy New Year again for 2019. Do you have any New Year's resolutions? I personally do. I have a few, which we'll talk about in a minute. Do you have some? Are you looking forward to something in 2019? You know, maybe a game. You know, Xbox, I do hear, is on the cards to be announced at E3 this year. That's something to look forward to, and possibly PlayStation 5, who knows? So for me in 2019, there's not a heap I'm looking forward to. As I said, there is the consoles, of course. I am looking forward to that, but that'll come in 2020. And 2020 seems to be the year. But I'm actually looking forward to Bond 25, being a massive James Bond fan. You know, I just cannot wait for that movie. So it's another year and a bit. All right, so this is actually the first video for 2019, and I wanted it to be something very raw, very kind of talking to you guys, right? To find out one, what you want, two, what do you think of my direction? There's so much to talk about, actually. So first of all, we're going to have a look back at 2018, and that was actually a very, very, very hard year for myself and my family. And I want to talk about that. Well, this gigantic arcade room, as you can see, we're in it at the moment. The machines are off. It's nice and quiet. There's a bit of an echo in here because the ceilings are so goddamn tall. It's actually not the best for acoustics. Anyway, I built this room and it literally almost killed me. I did actually have a heart attack in 2018. I think it was September. I can't even remember the month. It felt like so long ago, but since then I've improved my health. One, I stress a lot less, and that's what my doctor said. It was all due to stress. I was just doing too much, you know. 2 hours sleep a night, literally. You know, people say I had 2 hours sleep that night, but you catch up the next night. No. I was having 2 hours sleep every single night, and I'd just be up at, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning and organising building stuff, ready for the builders to come because they were friends of mine, and I wanted to chip in. And then I'd go to bed at 12 at night. And it's all stupid stuff, right? It's dumb because I wouldn't be here if it kind of crossed that line. So that's all right, touch wood. The other thing that was very sad is we lost our beloved family dog, Naomi, which was basically my best friend. Had Naomi for just over 18 years, just under 18 years. Had her for just under 18 years. Her sister is still alive, twin sister. Her name's Saber. She's still alive, but she's getting very frail, unfortunately. Well, that's just age. It's very unfortunate, but that was a very sad part of the year, well, of our life, really. It was definitely like losing a family member, and we're still kind of not even over it. Isn't that crazy? It's sometimes, you know, the memories click over and you get a bit upset. So that was very hard, and we had, like everything, like everyone, we had family issues. You know, Mandy and I were arguing a lot because we had this going on and we're trying to deal with kids. You know, I've got two kids. I've got Luke, who's now almost 9, and Zelda, who's almost 3. So they're amazing kids. I can't ask for anything more. And you know, it's just a family environment. You know, we're trying to run a household, trying to run a full-time business, and we're trying to renovate, look after kids, and well, you know, we've all got problems in life, and that was just one of many in 2018. I like to think we're over that, and there's no more renovations coming, I guarantee you, right? So there won't be another room extension or anything like that. I'm done with that. I'm 45 years old now, and I need to actually now work on myself and my family and really concentrate on where everything's headed. So I can't just get outside now and start picking up a hammer and tack on another room or do something like that. I'm kind of done with that. So speaking of renovations and myself, I've actually been doing Last Gamer for 8 years and 3 months, roughly. It started in October 2010. And well, let's be honest, Last Gamer has had a very, very rocky road. And it's all about the renovations, because I'd start to get a bit of a roll on and then I'd do a renovation and the channel suffers. Then I'd get a roll on again and I'd do another renovation and the channel suffers. You know, we moved house and I had a long break there. I had a lot of other issues with my health, right, life, and the channel suffered. And this has happened time and time again. But things are looking up now for Last Gamer. I do think in the right headspace, now the renovations are finished, now that I've got my arcade machines here, now that everything's kind of in its place. And I'll go into more about that in a second. Now the room tour has hit over 1 million views. Like, that is insane. I never thought it had reached that much. Look, I like the video personally, and I know a lot of people like it, and it started to go a little bit viral, and it started to pick up momentum, and then I was amazed. I'm very, very blessed to have it go to 1 million. It was kind of an achievement. The biggest 2 comments. The first one, you're rich. To afford that, you are absolutely loaded. You must have gold mine, you must be an oil, the drug lord. I've had all sorts of things. And it amazes me that people can judge me just by watching a 20-minute video without actually having a look at where it's all come from. See, no one was there, well, people were there. These people leaving the comments weren't there when I was buying Super Nintendo games brand new in 1994 from America. So I'd bring them in. I was actually importing games from the US, and I was buying like Donkey Kong Country for $15 each. I had contacts in America who were selling me games. I'd be buying, a fair bit, like 100, 200 copies, and I'd be buying games. I remember I bought UN Squadron on the Super Nintendo from America for $11 each, brand spanking new, shrink wrapped, brand new. I was buying them in, those containers. I think they held 10 or 12 from memory, the, what is it called, the packing boxes. And I was bringing over literally like hundreds of them, and I was making good money on them because Australia didn't have them at the time. And even when they did, they couldn't sell them for what I was selling them for. I can't remember how much I sold them for, but it was like $50. And then I'd sell a converter on top of that because the cartridge shape is different for the PAL Super Nintendo. I'll go into more of this a bit later on, but they weren't there when that was going on, when I was doing all these wheeling and dealing, and I've been in video games for that long. And I've gathered that many contacts and company contacts, Capcom, Konami, Sega, I know them, so well. I can just ring up Sega tomorrow and say, hey, how's it going? Got any information for me? Anything there that that you're throwing out or whatever? I've got a great relationship with those companies. And I can tell you another one. In 1996, I was bringing over I was bringing over N64s from Japan, brand new, right? They weren't in Australia. And this was before launch, 6 months before launch. I was bringing them over from day one. So they got released in Japan and I had them probably next day because they'd be sent a couple of days before launch. So I'd have them and I'd be selling them for kind of big money, let's be honest, because they're hard to get. And people went nuts when the N64 come out. And I'd be buying every single game that was made and I'd keep one copy for myself. And that's how I amassed so many games back then. Yes, I still buy games now, retro games now, because I haven't got every retro game, although it looks like it. But that's how I actually did it back then. And people don't see that side of it. And back then, it wasn't even that expensive. Like, I'm telling you, I had a lot of wholesale companies I was buying from, and Super Famicom, Japanese Super Famicom games, I was picking up $2 and $3. Like Final Fight Guy, look at that on eBay, it's ridiculous. I remember I was buying it with the little mini CD for like $5, brand new. I'd be buying a pack of 10, or more than that, but in packs. I might buy 50 and then resell them, because I did have a video game shop called Australian Vision Games that was selling imported games, and that's what I did. So that's how I amassed a lot of the collections. And then arcade machines, people say, oh, that Afterburner's worth this and that Ferrari 355. Yeah, they are expensive. Now, there was a time where these games were literally thrown in the tip. And that's the time you got to buy that stuff. When they're so low, you just got to say, hey, I'll buy that Afterburner for $200. And that's what happens. You've just got to be smart in collecting video games. And in story mode, that's what I'm trying to do now. So you've seen, I think there's 4 episodes up now of story mode, and I'm working on them. And that's what's going to be released. And they're going to get very interesting. So now we're on the subject of story mode, so I'll talk about that. So story mode. So the first 4 episodes are up, and they're kind of boring because I'm only a kid. You know, I'm not really into video games, but they're starting to get exciting. Next week's going to be a good one. And as you see them start to come up, you will see some exciting stuff. I was good friends with Julian Assange. I was pirating with him. But there is so much to talk about. Yeah, I'm a video game shop, right? You know, all this type of, there's so many stories. It will blow your mind. Like, it blows my mind, and I've lived it. And I just cannot wait to actually get it out there. And then when people say, oh, you're rich, to just go and buy that in one hit, that's what a lot of people think. I can say, no. Go and check out story mode, have a look at that, and then you'll see where I've actually been. And that's why I'm creating them. It's more of a reference for people to go back and see, you know, the highs and lows and the peaks on where I bought video games, where I bought bulk. I remember Sega Saturn was going down, it would have been not far off when the Dreamcast was announced. And in Japan, you could buy Saturn games for not even 50 cents brand new in its shrink wrap. And that's it. Time to get the set because things are going for nothing. So I'll have a break from me at the moment. I want to talk about BitHead 1000. Now, I've spoken about BitHead 1000 before, and there's no secret that I'm actually friends with him. We've never spoken on the phone, but we've talked over over the internet. And Jesse is one of the most genuine guys on YouTube. He is real. I've said this a million times. I don't want to go over and over again, but he's just released a video, and my goodness, great minds think alike, Jesse, because you know, his channel's slowly growing. It should be a lot further ahead, and it just seems to be the way. He's just a genuine guy talking to the camera and telling it how it is. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He tries to talk very positively about video games. When I say tries, it's not like he's trying to talk about negatively. There are some crappy games, but he is really good for the community. And Jesse has now started up a Patreon, and it hurt him to start it up because he doesn't want to be seen like I'm an e-beggar, and he's not.
Boy. This will probably be the hardest show I ever make right here. But I've been neglecting a lot of side work to do the show. And it's getting to the point where it's just not fair to my family anymore.
And he now has to kind of justify, he needs some kind of, to grow the show. He needs some kind of support. And I'm all for it. I reckon if you got to support anyone, he's the man. Personally, I don't want to do Patreon because I've got a full-time job that blends in with Last Gamer. Well, I'm hoping it's blending in with Last Gamer. That's another thing. I'll just segue in right there. I'm trying to segue all these topics I want to talk about. At the moment, Mandy and I are absolutely flat out. We're finishing off a client who's also a friend's arcade machines, and Mandy has been working on them literally from early morning to afternoon. Like early morning mean 8 o'clock in the morning, sometimes until 6 at night. I've got to help with the kids, of course I will, cook the dinner, and sometimes juggle things, and Mandy's amazing. She's doing so much, And this guy's got a lot of arcade machines. I'm not going to go into more now, but there's about 10, it actually could be more than that. And look, his name's Peter, he's a good friend of mine, and well, we're trying to get them out, not in a rush way, but we've had them for so long, there's just so much work on them. And that's how arcade machines can be. And he's anal like me. He wants everything pristine, and that's good. I like that. That's what we specialise in. So yes, that is my daily job. We restore arcade machines and pinball machines. I prefer to do arcades. Mandy prefers to do pinballs. We've got more pinball business. Arcades, people don't want to spend the money to make it pristine, and which is fair enough because it can equal a lot of dollars. But pinball machines, we've got something like 60 pinball machines of clients that we've got to work on, and we're looking easy a year and a half to have them all done. So we are fully booked. Mandy does amazing work. I personally think she's the best pinball painter in Australia. She can do art and you can't even find where it's been painted. How does she do it? She'll work on a play field. Look, it could be the size of that, right? Size of your fingernail. It'll take her 8 hours. She'll clear it, put clear coat over it. You try and find it, you can't. It is ridiculously perfection. And, well, my pinballs are all like new, but mine still need a lot of work. We've got clients to do, so that's it. So that's my job, that's our job, and it gets us by, right? It gets me enough to support the family, pay the games, and I'm happy enough to do that, and that's it. I'm happy there. So let's now move on back to me, back to the channel. Well, not me, more back to the channel. Last Gamer, where is it heading? Now you're going to ask, what's going on? Where's Last Gamer show? I said I'd be doing 2 videos a week. I said that in the room tour. Unfortunately, because of all the work we've got, because of me getting back into health, I've got a little gym now. So Last Gamer show has actually been axed. Now there's 2 reasons. One, Jess just cannot commit the time to Last Gamer. She's got a busy work schedule and she's got a personal life. Hi, I'm Joel.
And I'm Jess.
And welcome to the Last Gamer show.
Last Gamer show rebooted.
Last Gamer show rebooted.
Rust.
And when I need her here, she can't just drop everything and come here. When I want to film, when I'm in the mood to film, she can't just drop everything and come here. And the second reason is I have a lot of opinions, on Last Gamer. Now there's a whole e-begging video which blew right out of proportion because unfortunately the people it was aimed at, it went over their heads. And the people that thought it was aimed at them, they reacted. But it actually wasn't aimed at anyone really. It was just, I had a view on it. And unfortunately, you know what, I thought, I'm not gonna have any more personal views. So I just thought, you know what, Jess can't do it, I'll just shut down Last Gamer show and really concentrate on what I founded Last Gamer for. I'll go into that in a minute. So Last Gamer show's cancelled, right? And it wasn't the best segment. I put it up to fans again on Facebook. What shows do you like the best? And Last Gamer show did rank the lowest because, look, I am at heart a retro gamer more than a modern gamer. I love modern games, by the way, love them, but I'm more into retro games, obviously. And I want to focus more on retro games, and with Last Gamer show, that was orientated to more modern games. Now, I am going to be doing something where it's more focused on modern games. I'm still working out that balancing act, and that'll be a particular segment. Anyway, that's what's happened with Last Gamer show. And well, while I'm on that segment, I'll talk about the retro community and the collecting community, whether it's retro or modern. Unfortunately, this community that we are all part of, whether you're a collector or you're just a casual gamer that might have a handful of games, might have 10 games, you're still a part of the retro community if you're a retro player. And unfortunately, this community is very toxic. It's a very, very toxic community, and I try and stay out of that toxicity. Is that actually a word? That is a word, toxicity. And I try and stay out of it. And I thought, you know what, if I get rid of Last Gamer Show, I just won't have an opinion anymore. And I'll just keep to myself, and I'll just have my opinion on the games I want to review and things like that. Now, I'm sorry if I'm darting all over the place. I don't have a script in front of me, or kind of a guide to keep on track to what I've spoken about and what I haven't spoken about. So that's that side of things. I hope I bring something to make a more positive community. That's what we need with retro games. Positivity. Games are about fun. They're not about negativity or anger or hatred or you've got that and I haven't got that, I'm jealous. It's silly. It's silly to talk about all that. It doesn't matter. I know you're probably thinking, well, you can talk, you've got all the games, but I don't really care about that. They're with me more because of a journey rather than any other reason. That's it. I keep them, I love them because they remind me of the journey. So with the channel, I will be growing it very, very nicely this year. I have to be careful how I say this. I am actually talking to a YouTube representative. Now, he's not a rep, gotta use my words here. He's not a rep for me. He's not assigned to me or anything like that. It's a friend of a friend's. He works at YouTube and he's kind of given me some heads up. That's pretty much the best way I can explain it. And he's really guided me into how to kind of do things in the future. And I love them. Now, I will be doing one video a week. It'll be Tuesday, 9 o'clock. That's the aim. Okay, that's the aim. That'll be one video a week. If in the future, whether it be 4, 5, 6 months, a year, I go to 2 videos a week, then that means I'm on a roll, and that means I've got a lot of videos that I'm starting to get in the rhythm of. I've got a lot of videos like on my hard drive ready to upload, and I'm comfortable to do that. But I'm not going to promise something and then let you guys down again, like the Last Gamer Show. Now, vlog files, some people like them, some people don't. Story mode, some people say it's too professional. No way, I don't think it's too professional at all. I'd love to have it even more professional, but time is the problem. Now, I am going to try and balance things out and have a vlog files now and again and a, like a story mode. Story modes will eventually run out. I've estimated there'll be about 40 to 50 story modes. Okay, I've already written them. I've spent a long time doing that. And there's no fabrication in story modes. These are actual events that happened to me all through since I was born, as you would have seen, until I started YouTube really, which was in 2010. So it'll be all that. And there's some exciting stories, as I said. Anyway, I'm not going to go over that again. So that's it for Last Gamer. I am still working on the segments and how they're going to run, but at the moment you've got story mode to enjoy from next week, and probably every week for at least a month I'm going to have a story mode. And keep in mind they are going to get better. So don't shy away from them. Don't think, well, that's not my cup of tea. Now, getting back to what I'm going to do. Sorry I'm all over the place, guys. This is extreme raw. As I said, I'm not going to edit much. I'm just going to pretty much spill everything out. When I started Last Gamer, I started with a crappy little, I can't remember what the camera was, Sanyo. I shouldn't say it's crappy, it was actually a good camera. It was 1080p. It was a little Sanyo camera, and I started out on that, and I wanted to do reviews and talk about reviews. Now this Afterburner arcade machine, that was my first review. It was shocking. If I look at it now, I have to quickly turn it off. I can't believe how bad I am in front of camera. What I've got in my hand here is the arcade PCB. Now back in 1987, even Taito, Konami, and Capcom, and I was nervous. Who am I nervous about? It's a camera you're talking to. It's uploading and seeing the comments, that's when it gets nerve-wracking. Not anymore, but back then. And that's how I started Last Gamer. Reviews. Series reviews is what I was all about, because I realised I've got every afterburner ever made. The arcade machine, prototype afterburners, afterburner on the Commodore 64, the Amstrad, the Spectrum, handheld Tiger afterburner. I've got afterburner in all sorts of forms. Same with Outrun. Same with Shinobi. You know, all these things, I've got them at hand. Why aren't I talking about them and doing a series review on them? So that's how Last Gamer actually started. And I want to go back to that. I want to go back to basics and do series reviews because I actually enjoyed doing them and I think people enjoyed watching them. I had good following back then and I want to get back to that. And I'm sure you guys, I'm hoping, you want to get back to that too. That was 2010 and it kind of come back in 2013, but as I said before, renovations just took over my life. Now, speaking of renovations, I just want to go back to this room and this room tour video. Over 1 million, right? It's unbelievable. That room tour, let me tell you a bit of a story about that room tour. I actually had a bit of a cold and I lost my voice. So we had to film that over I think it was one day we did the modern room and my voice got lost again. We had to wait 2 days and then we did the computer room and then I think we waited another 2 days and I did the lot all in one, the rest. The play retro room, the library and the arcade room. So that was fairly easy to do. But yeah, that was actually really, really bad. Now what you gotta also know is that was rushed in two forms. It was rushed, kind of filming it. It was a little bit, just wanted to get it out so I could kind of move on with things because everyone was expecting me to do a room tour, so that was it. The other thing is the actual room, the arcade room, the library, that was all rushed just so I could film. That is actually not how I wanted it set up. It was going to be a lot better. Now, that's what's happening at the moment. I'm just tweaking things in the library because now that the dust has settled and I don't have to rush to get a room tour out, I'm just tweaking things, finishing them off so they're a little bit more pleasing to the eye. And well, you just have to stay tuned to see that. I'm not going to do a tour about that. I'm just going to probably, just show you how that looks. It's going to be good. I think everyone will be shocked, in a good way. So that's it. Did you like this format? Do you like longer vlogs? Do you like vlog files? Do you want reviews? Do you want story mode? Do you want vlogs? I'm going to do all those things, but I want to know what you like best because that kind of then says, right, I've got to focus more on that area. I will tell you right now, the retro games will be the #1 thing and modern games will be secondary. That's not to say I'm not into modern games, but everyone's doing modern games. And look, there is a lot of retro game channels out there. So it's not like I'm shying away from modern games just because there's so many out there, but I'm just more, as I said, I'm more into retro games. And there's just so many I want to talk about. There's so many that I've just got, in my brain, I've just got so much knowledge from Sega, from Capcom, from Konami, and I'm not using it and I'm not showing it. Like Sega sent me actual sketches that have never been seen before for Enduro Racer. Like the actual prototype sticker art and things like that. And here's me, it's just in a drawer somewhere. So if I do a review on Enduro Racer, I'll bring out all that artwork and say, well, this is the prototype artwork and it's dated 1985. And Enduro Racer's 1986, so it's pretty special stuff. Well, everyone, I thank you so much for giving me your time to watch this lengthy vlog and any of my videos. I just thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Please leave your comments below on, just some opinions, don't be too harsh, and some suggestions. But I think I know where I'm headed. I've got some great ideas from this person who's helping me, and well, 2019, let's hope it's nice and straight and there's not too many bumps along the way. And as I said, there's going to be no more renovations. There's some slight tweaking, but no more rooms, no more, it's just too much for me. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.